Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am the Legionnaire, and here we are today checking out a lovely little game called Freeman Guerrilla Warfare. It's been described, accurately so, as a combination of Mount and Blade, which if you look further back on my channel, you'll see some of modded gameplay of that, as well as basically with Modern Warfare. Some people are considering it to be a little more like Arma because it's a modern combat, tactical, and whatnot. I'd say not so much as realistic as Arma, but still pretty close. So we're going to start a new campaign. It's really interesting. So it's still, the game is still in development. So the campaign is fairly, I wouldn't say limited because there's a lot to do, but I would say it's probably not as fleshed out as it is going to be in the future. So we're going to start a campaign mode, or campaign rule. The only mode is standard mode. So we're going to hit OK. We're going to choose our banner. I tend to like this one right here. So we're going to go with that. And we're going to enter a name. And just because it sounds cool and it ties into my name, we're going to be the Free Legion. I'm going to hit OK. And here we are. Here's the map. Welcome, Commander. Blah, blah, blah. Here's the map. We have all these towns. Our goal is to control 10 of these and to basically eliminate the other factions. Now we start off at war with these guys. These guys are bandits, so of course we're at war with them. And these guys who are terrorists. Not a savory bunch. Unfortunately, we only start off with 2 squads of 5 men, so it's kind of hard to do what we want. So you just click on the map to move. We're going to go over to these looters and we're going to see what we can do. What do you want? Blah, blah, blah. We start the battle. And every time you start a battle, you start in this sort of tactical map. Now, it's nighttime and that sucks, but you get a chance to move yourself. You insert your squads, and you can start giving them orders. So say, I want this squad to go over here, and go over here. And I want my other squad to go over here and go over here. And this is pretty much my standard sort of battle tactic, is spread them out, but make sure they're in cover a little bit. And then I'll follow one squad around and stick with them. Unfortunately, at the beginning of the game, you start with your 2 squads who are fully kitted out, but you yourself only start with
I'm in position.
a little handgun. And in this case I get a Glock, which is nice. It's nicer than what I've gotten before. But you just get this handgun. So you run around, and there's a timer at the top of the screen that says 7 minutes. That gives you 7 minutes for the battle to progress. And at the end of that time limit, the map will reveal where the enemy is. It'll tighten this little red area here. Will get smaller around, like if they're over here in a cluster, it'll do that. So basically, we have to wait and walk around and find the bad guys. And all this while, you're also giving your squad's orders to make sure they're going where you want them to go. And try not to die yourself, because that is... If you die, the battle isn't necessarily over. You can order your squads to attack without you, just like in Mount and Blade, but they won't really perform as well because they won't be getting solid orders from you. Alright, so we're just taking a look around now. Take a look at our tactical map again. Alright, so somebody's firing. Alright, so we got guys over here. So I'm going to move this waypoint here, and I'm going to move these guys and order them to go here. Because if there's one enemy squad there, that's going to be a good portion of their team, or a good portion of their... Technically, it's an army.
Requesting assistance.
But see, our guys are... They're getting in a bit of trouble.
Target eliminated.
But you can see the green messages lining up on the side of the screen of our guys getting killed. And of course we can participate, but we can't do much because we've still only got this little Glock. But we do have grenades. Which are very effective. We've already got the enemy down to 11 men out of their original 19.
Enemy engaged. Cover me.
Now our current dilemma is that we're a bit surrounded.
Target
We
spotted.
have at least one man down here, one enemy down here, and then another up there, which means that's probably the last two squads, hopefully. And so we've got to fight them off on both sides. The AI in this game is actually fairly intelligent, to a point. They're good at following move commands. They're fairly decent with accuracy and make sure he's dead. They're fairly okay with their accuracy and their skills in fighting. So we're gonna clear these guys as waypoints and we're gonna send them back down this way.
Order received. Copy that.
While I watch this flank. And of course you've got the epic music.
Target in range. Covering fire. Order received.
Now I know there's at least one man over there. And everything's arranged typically in the standard squad size in this game is a squad of 5. So if there's one guy, there's almost always, see, that's the rest of the enemy team. So we've got to go up there, we've got to find them, and we've got to take them out. But it looks like they might be retreating. Typically, I've found it. I've played a few hours of this game, gotten to a point, and just to get the hang of it, see what it was like. And typically, you'll find that against the looters, against the bandits faction, especially against looters, you'll typically have a good advantage, a good tactical advantage, even if you don't have the best equipment yourself
Target spotted.
or numerical advantages. You don't need that to take these guys on because, frankly, they're not all that well equipped
Requesting immediate
and
support.
they're also not all that intelligent. I
Cover me.
mean, he just got up in front of a guy that was a few dozen meters away and got popped in the head. So there's just one guy left, and I'm going to do the stupid thing and run up on him. In case you couldn't tell, I believe the game developers are probably Russian or from that region, and so the game is largely based around, you know, that sort of region, it seems. You know, the accents, the "ura" at the end, their cheer. So after the end of a battle, you always get this loot screen. Oh, gold ore, we're gonna have to sell that. So you get this loot screen. We're gonna take the money, of course, because we need to buy better weapons, flashlight, ammo, another gun. We're not gonna keep this gun, but as you can see up in the top right, it's worth $1,400 or 1,400 credits. So we're gonna sell that, and that's basically at the moment up until the point where we get a town of our own, up until the point where we take Berezno, which has a garrison of 91, which is a little bit ridiculous at the moment. Up until we take that, that's our only income is taking out enemy armies like these bandits or looters or whatever, what have you, taking their stuff and then selling it either in one of the other towns that we can find. So after a battle, typically, you go to your party screen. These guys are ready to upgrade, so we're going to give them some better weapons. Mercenary Militia Squad. So now we have a Mercenary Militia and some FCA recruits. And I believe FCA stands for Free Cossacks Army, which means that they're from a different faction, but they're ours. That's kind of odd. So every squad has a armor, attack, speed, experience, population, which is just how much there is, and a daily wage. Daily wage goes up the stronger they get, of course. And they also have a morale right here. And that morale, if you keep it at 100, I believe it might affect performance. I'm not entirely sure, but of course if it ever gets low, you can just reward the troops or pay their salary. Their morale will go straight back up, which is always nice. So now that we've done that, that was our first battle. We're going to go to Horbakiv. Actually, instead we need to check our own stats because I forgot to upgrade them in the first place. So you start out with a certain amount of stats. So we're going to put a little bit into Constitution, a little bit into Intelligence. I typically like to go intelligence heavy because it gives you more skill stats, skill points that you can use, and then you can upgrade even further. So vitality, we're going to put up. Looting, definitely, that gives us better stuff after a battle. Medical, leadership, and commanding, all going up. Instructor as well. Inventory gives us more inventory space. That's always nice to have, especially when you start running out of stuff. But especially medical, you heal faster, and you heal even fast, like in battle and on the world map. First aid is also very important because it reduces the KIA rate of your squads. Your men are less likely to die in battle, and you don't have to replace them afterwards. So here we have Horbakiv. I probably butchered that. Owned by the Free Cossacks Army. We're not at war with them. We're friendly with them. So we're not going to attack them, of course. But if I wanted to, I could go to the hospital, pay $150 to recover my health. I don't really need to. I'm still at 180. I'm still at 87 health. But instead, we're going to trade with these guys. We're going to go straight to the weapon dealer. We're going to sell them our revolver that we picked up. Get some good cash off of that. We don't need the MG magazine or the Magnum ammo or the flashlight or either of these two maps. We're also going to sell this gold because hopefully that's going to give us 2,300 credits, and that'll be enough to get us a new gun. Hopefully. Maybe, if they have what I want. Now, what we're going to start out with, unfortunately, even though it's not great, it's better than only having a pistol. We're going to go with this KA-13. It's just a little, it fires a 5.56, semi-automatic. It's not bad. It's a great gun, but I'd really rather have like the KA-5 here or the AR-41, which is just an AR-15. They had, I'm assuming that they had to change the names of some of these weapons, or just give them different designations, probably because you can't exactly get licensing all that easy for a game like this. So now that we've got that gun, we need to get some ammo for it, of course, because ammunition is the one thing I always run out of, and it's horrible. Because then you're back down to your little pistol. So thankfully we're only paying $893 credits. I'm going to keep screwing that up. And now we've got a better weapon. We've also got the opportunity, if we wanted to, we can hire some mercenaries. So we're going to go cheap. We're going to get a volunteer squad because they're cheap and easy, and they are typically quick to upgrade. So now we've got 15 men. We can take all three of those squads into battle. We're going to go to our inventory. We're going to get that gun in there. And then as soon as we can, likely after the next fight, we're going to try and get ourselves an optic for this. Because the iron sights, not all that great. But we have to find another army to fight. So we see these bandits over here. We're going to go to them. Hopefully, if they stop running. Instead, we're going to choose to go to these looters. Because there's two less guys, and they're classified as looters, so they're likely to be more looters, less well equipped than the straight up bandits. So again, every battle will start on this screen. you select the squads you want to deploy, place them around, and this is, like I said, I've developed kind of a standard, and for this one I'll make it a little even better. So I'll have the third squad, the volunteers, following me at least for a portion, and then I'll send the other squads off somewhat on their own. Take a look at the curvature. And now that we've done that, we're going to hit deploy all. We're going to close, and all our guys are here. And again, it's another night. It's still nighttime, which is actually, I believe, a new feature. The last time I played this game, I think there must have been an update somewhere in between, and we didn't have a day-night cycle that was noticeable. So this is good. This is a great addition. Another good tactical aspect. I'm assuming that maybe when we get some night vision and better equipment. All right, as we can see, we can already see these guys. It's much easier for us to do damage because we've got a much better weapon for ourselves this time. Oh lord. And this is one of the things I love about this game. It's probably a little bit loud, but the battles have the potential to get real intense, real fast. And you've not only got to handle yourself through it, but you've got to command your squad still reliably. And our guys will try to take cover. Sometimes they'll scream take cover, they'll be out in the open, and they'll just stand up. But overall, the AI is fairly intelligent, like I said. And they'll try to take cover, they'll try to, not necessarily flank, but they won't just keep moving if you have them set on a certain move order until they reach their destination. If they're taking fire or if they're firing at the enemy, they'll wait to move until they have a good opportunity to do so. Now, I only wish I had a grenade launcher I could throw a grenade that far, because that's a good cluster to try and take out. That's what I like to see, the message on the side that says the enemy squad is fleeing. That's always good to see, because that means you go into hunting them down and chasing them, which is a little bit of a pain, but at the same time it means they're fighting a lot less and they're just trying to get out. Which means I can set my guys to advance directly. In the beginning of this, you always have to try and conserve ammo, which I'm not the greatest at. If I see a target, I like to shoot until it's dead. but if you run out, you run out. You're not likely to find it in looting, and you're not likely to oh shit. And it's harder to find in the towns sometimes too, because once you buy all the ammo in a town, once you buy all of something in a town, it's gone. There's no getting it back, at least until the next day. Likely when they resupply. Oh shit, there he is. I ran straight past you. Okay, that works too. Let's see. No friendly casualties. That's what we love to see. There's not, that I've seen, any difficulty settings on this, which I'm not really complaining about. Oh, prisoners. That's new. That has changed. So we're going to take a look at these guys. I don't really know what this means. We can either persuade them to join, we can execute them, which I might be tempted to do because I don't need him. Okay, so we only have the higher compliance rate they have, the greater chance to persuade him. Compliance of only 16, I'm not going to deal with that. I think I'm going to imprison them for now, maybe. I don't want to reduce our karma. We're the Free Legion. We need to be nice, right? I think we're going to imprison them for now, and then we're going to see what happens. I would imagine maybe I can ransom them, perhaps. I'm not entirely sure. So we have a prisoners tab now. If I look at these guys, propaganda. We can give them critical propaganda to break their... Okay, I would assume that would increase their compliance. So would that. Threatening them. Okay, so maybe this will increase or decrease. Torture. Now, I don't know why we would want to torture them. Maybe if I keep them around, maybe their compliance will go up. So now another battle finished. We're gonna go back to Lit. We're gonna go to Litvin. We haven't been here yet, which means that the markets are gonna be roughly still stocked, which is good because I need more of this 5.56. So we're gonna sell our revolver that we got. We're gonna sell this shovel and the shotgun rounds because we don't need it. The beer, them men don't need it. They have bread and they have canned food, so we don't need that right now. I don't believe it has an effect on morale. I think it's just a commodity for the game. We're gonna sell all that. We're gonna do a deal. We have $3,000 now. We're gonna look at getting ourselves a scope. Ooh, or a silencer. That would be nice. So we have the option for a Cobra sight, which I don't really want, but this ACOG scope, this could really up our combat effectiveness. So I think I'm going to pick that up, and I'm going to pick up some more ammunition because you can never have too much. So we're losing money on this deal a little bit, but that's totally okay because we just got a badass rifle scope. So we're going to leave. We're going to open up our inventory. We're going to put that on our gun. We're going to try that out in the next battle. And we're also going to up our dexterity. That increases firearm damage. So there's two ways to increase how much damage you do in the game. Is either get a better gun, because right now you can see this does 44 damage and a muzzle velocity of 1900. Not the greatest for longer range engagements. At least it's more than the Glock. So you can either do that, or you can up your stats. So, and I'm assuming sort of the way you go about this, this is very, very much like Mountain Blade again, because upping your stats in Mountain Blade, ups your weapon damage. But that's a little bit different because you're swinging weapons. I would assume, the argument for upping your damage, like, if you're more of a rifle expert, you're more likely to hit vital areas, you're a better shot, you're better at what you do, you're more likely to get those more critical hits. And so what we're going to do, we're going to get our... I think we're going to give ourselves another level of commanding, because this allows us to bring another squad into combat, and the more men we can bring to bear, the better chances we have of taking the town when we need to take the town. The only other problem with it, is that we get to this issue where we have too many men, and we're paying massively in salary. Right now, thankfully, we only have a salary 258 credits, so I can give them that. So we're going to give them that salary, and these FCA recruits we're also going to upgrade into an infantry squad. Hopefully, maybe. Yep, there we go. So now we have even better. They've got these ANs, they've got KM, just different AK style weapons. And we have these two volunteer squads and a mercenary militia. So we've got 20 men now. We're a little bit more confident. We're going to go with one more battle, see how it goes, and maybe after that we'll call it a day. It's finally morning time. I'm going to withdraw real quick. I need to make sure I have my scope on my weapon. Yep. Alright, now we're ready to go. Alright, we're going to bother you again, and this time we're going to shoot you. And so the game, for a little while, the game is mostly grinding. You're grinding up your squad's effectiveness, your army's effectiveness, and your own effectiveness, getting yourself better weapons, getting your squads better equipment, etc., and kind of learning the best tactics to approach. So this is a little bit of a hilly area, but I want these guys to go here. Even though they're a little bit on a downslope, they're going to be more effective from cover. And these guys are basically going to do this. And this is, again, when I have 4 squads, this is my standard. This is how I fight, because this is the most effective. I'm sending 2 squads out, kind of as a flanking, and then I have the main force, and I'll typically stick with the main force because these guys are noobs. They're volunteers. They don't know anything. And we're basically just going to clear our way through. That's our initial battle plan until we find the enemy. So we're going to take a look through our scope. Oh, this isn't bad. This is a nice scope. I feel like the models for the scopes are a lot prettier than the models for the weapons, which isn't bad. I wonder if I can switch up, because there's a sight on the top of it too. Maybe I'll have to look through the controls and see if there's a way to do that. But until then, this is just having this reticle and the zoom there and the extra range is going to be immensely useful. For example, I can take a look around and I can scan with that extra view range, and it'll be easier for me to find the bad guys, even though, well, at this point they are the bad guys. They're bandits, they're looters, they're going to other towns, they're ransacking villages, they're probably attacking a whole bunch of little farmers who probably never hurt anybody except for the fact that they own their own land, and the communists don't like that. Oh, there we go. That was a headshot. And so is that. I'm going to throw a grenade because they're clustered. I also don't want to get hit. I've already taken 2 hits. I'm already well below full health. Thankfully, none of our guys have died. We've taken out 3 of theirs. And ideally, I want our men to assault forward, and eliminate the targets. And obviously, my men, I want them. Oh, we're being flanked. Shit. See, that's where the intense combat comes in. Sorry about that. That's, like, these guys are flanking hard, and they're practically just charging in. They're still moving carefully, but they've got a squad moving up while they have another squad laying down a base of fire down below. As far as I know, I don't believe the game has any sort of suppression mechanic, so there's not really much of a point in me constantly firing like the rest of these guys. Oh, we've lost our first man. That is unfortunate. I'll have to write a letter home to his family, of course. Shit, they are moving up. Oh no, oh no. Where are the last ones? Okay, there's 2 at range. These are positions reported by my squad members, of course. But there's 2 at range that we want to take out. Alright, now they're running. And then there's this little guy. We're going to get out our Glock and we're going to run up on him. And there we go. 22 dead. Thankfully, we only lost 2 of our guys. That was intense. That was, and that'll happen. You'll get flanked. You'll get outflanked. The enemy squad, it's only in that red area. You don't know where, so they can come from anywhere. And while you're moving in to find them, they're moving to find you. So there's always the opportunity for being flanked. And in a way, you're at the disadvantage if you're in this. We're just gonna release you. We don't want to deal with you. We want to increase our karma. We want to be nice to people. We're gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. But you need to anticipate that. And if you can't anticipate that, then you're likely to get donked on. To be honest. So this guy, we're gonna refill his squad. He's still in the blue. He's still at 84 morale, but we're gonna give him a bit more. We're going to give them a reward. That's their combat pay. That's hazard pay. That's their extra. We're going to head back to Litvin again. We're going to press space to fast forward. We're going to go to the market, and we're going to do some trading. This one's the equipment market, I believe. So he sells clothing, which is also very important because you can do a few things this way. You can spread out where you're selling your stuff because they only have so many credits each day. So we're going to make a deal there. We have $4,000 now. Now, I have the opportunity to pick up some good armor, or I can go back. I'm going to go back to the weapons dealer, and I'm going to see if he has any better guns than what I've already got. At the moment, the only better gun he has is that AKM. And I'll be honest when I say I'm not too interested in the AKM. AK is a good rifle, but it fires a big sluggish round, and that's not good for the longer range engagements that I want to be in. So we're going to go back to Horbekiv, or however you pronounce it. We'll find out someday. We're going to go to the weapons dealer here. He's got more ammo, which is good for us. We've already got a bit of a stockpile of this 5.56, so if we can, I want to try and find another 5.56 weapon. Maybe even pick up PKA scope, because that's also a very good one over the as well as the ACOG. I'd have to compare the two to see how I like each one. And also pick up the P67 if we want. But here we have the option for this AR-41, but it's a bit expensive. So what we're going to have to do, we're going to have to go back, we're going to have to leave, go to our inventory, take our ACOG off, get this ready. We're going to go trade again, weapons dealer. We're going to sell this. We're going to get ourselves that AR. Now we're paying a little bit less. Maybe we'll trade in the ACOG for the PKA for now. Take a look at it. I tried out the PKA earlier. It's a good scope, so we'll see if we can afford that. Ooh, that's yeah, we'll live with that. We'll go with that. So we'll make our deal. We'll go back, we'll leave. We'll go into our inventory. We'll arm ourselves, properly equipped. And I think after that, we're going to go after more intelligence, gives us more skills. We're going to go for rifle expert because we like rifles. They're very versatile. I can use it for the long range engagements, or for the short range. I just switch out my fire mode with this one now, and we're going to go with more better. I'm thinking trading. That'll get us better prices in when we're selling and better prices when we're buying. And so with that, I think we're going to call it a day. Hopefully in the next video, we'll take a look at getting more men in our squad, and eventually trying to figure out if we want to take on Lubny or Berezno. Lubny would be the easier target. They've got roughly little over half the men of Berezno, but we'll see if that changes. It'll definitely be worth taking a look at. I mean, we've got these other guys, but these are elite infantry. These guys are just ragtag terrorists and bandits. So we'll take a look at attacking these guys, taking one of their towns for our own. And then once we take the town, we can start taxing them. We can start getting money from the town, garrison the town so we don't have to pay our men as much. And we can start increasing our forces and expanding the Free Legion. And with that, like I said, we're going to call it a day. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you did, leave a like. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.